Well.
Hey y'all. How are y'all today?
Wow. Look, let me make sure I can see good. I really can't really. But anyways.
What's up, y'all? How y'all doing today? Of course, it's Wednesday and it's November 30th. We are in the building today. We are here. We are together.
We're together.
Y'all see us together.
New year, baby.
Yes.
New year. Get ready.
We got a lot going on for y'all. Got a lot coming up. We got a lot to explore. We got a lot. We're just gonna say that, and then we'll get back to that a little later on once everything is a little bit more confirmed. But for right now, I will say we got a lot in store for y'all as time passes. Now, with that being said, welcome to SW Podcast. It's November 30th. It's the last day of November. The last day.
Come on, December.
December 1st is tomorrow, and it is Sagittarius season. Yeah. So they are in full bloom, and we got some people to celebrate during this season. So once their birthdays approach, we will be celebrating our family and
a lot of people.
So definitely, I got a sister that got a birthday, a niece.
My uncle birthday today, my aunt birthday tomorrow. So
goodness. Yeah. See, it's already happening. My sister's birthday this week too. So anywho, we are here. So let's get this show on the road, y'all. Queen, but what's going on with you? How you doing?
I'm doing good. Look, it's just another day. Thankful, grateful to be here. And look, we live. I can't believe we live. Y'all seeing us together. Y'all ain't seeing us screen.
Right.
It's different.
It's a different feeling, but we are here, and the thing about it is, no matter where we are, we're always going to put on a good show. We're always going to give the audience and our people what we're here to do, because that's our delight. This is what we've done this for.
We just ain't did no live show like this in a long time. Besides the one we did some months back.
Yeah, a few months back. But the plan is to continue doing these. And sometimes, because of schedules, we will jump on and do some virtual shows. But for the most part, we're definitely gonna try to get here and do some studio work, because it's just for the people. It's for the people. We love y'all. So welcome in. Our quote of the day. Let me go ahead and put it up on the screen for y'all. Oh, not that one. Let's come down right here. There we go. The quote of the day is: we have to prepare the child for the path, not the path for the child. So think about that, Queen.
You got to lay it out. And with the path, you got to lay it out to the point of encouraging them, motivating them, keeping them accountable for things that they want to do, especially when it comes to like kids playing sports and stuff like that. You got to keep them accountable for those academics, what they need to be doing, making sure all of that. So you got to set the tone for what you want your children to be doing while they're young. Because by the time they get to be a teenager, they kind of made up in their mind what they want to do. But some not sure, but you just got to set that path. That they need a great foundation, period, point blank. The foundation got to be solid.
That's right.
If the foundation solid, trust and believe. They gonna listen. They gonna follow your ass. I'm speaking from experience.
Even if we slip, even if
they slip,
we come back.
You just still made that foundation where they can okay, let me come back and grips with myself, and let me do what I got to do. This is what my mom, my parents have taught me. Okay, let me get it together. Because they got y'all, like I was saying, you got to have your own story. They got to have their own story. So they gonna have to you're gonna have to let your child bump the head. But if you make that foundation good, you good.
That's right.
You good.
So preparing the child for the path is extremely important, like Queen said, for many, many reasons. She gave really great examples of that, and she also let you all know why it's not a good resource to try to use the pad to define the child. You're not that child. Yeah. So the path that you walk, it may not be the same path that child walks. So you're gonna have to not necessarily teach them by path or teach them completely by the fact how you walk. You gotta just teach them morally the concerns and the things, the dignitaries and things that they're gonna need to survive in this world, as well as the things that they're gonna need as tools and resources. So it's a lot that goes into parenting. So when we go into this show today, I first want to say I don't want anybody to think that this is a show to criticize and critique, and because we all have grown as parents. I've grown tremendously as a parent, and you know, I've had my battles with my children. I've had my ups and downs. We have to learn. I was 21 years old when I had my first child. Queen, how old were you? 20. We were young people. We were young women having children. So, you know, there were going to be things that we had to learn along the way. Yeah. Patience may run thin. Things may just shoot. So when we talk today and we put on these to have these conversations as such, these are things to kind of like help us improve upon who we are. And also it'll teach
future parents.
Yes, future parents definitely, but it'll also show you that you're not the only person that has experienced these things, and that there's way and there's still time to change that. So we have a lot to discuss within this hour. So we're gonna go ahead and jump right into it. But for the most part, please, if you take anything away from this show today, make sure you take away the fact that you're gaining something from this. You're being able to shed some light in your life or in your path about what you have going on, because we all
struggle as parents.
Yes.
It
is not an easy thing because it ain't no book. And people can write a million books and it ain't gonna.
Every child is different.
It might not have nothing to do with your child.
Every child is different. You can have children come from the same seed, same parents. Baby, they different.
Yeah.
They totally one hot, one cold. And you may have one in the middle.
Yep. Kids are gonna be kids. But it's your job, because remember, these are loners. They're not, given to us forever. So your job is to take care of them and prepare them for what they have coming, because but we're gonna talk about some things that you can do to be actually ruining your child in the growth process, and then we're gonna utilize some of those things that we're talking about to explain how that can even be considered as ruining your child, because sometimes we don't know that. Like, that's true. For real, y'all.
That's true. That's true. And you might know later on in life when they become adults and they feel like they can actually talk to you. But I know my kids done said to me, probably last year, either 2020, they was like, Mom, you different now. And I was like, what you mean? They was like, you used to be going off on us sometimes first thing in the morning. I say, cuz if I got to keep telling you something over and over again, I'm getting up and I'm going off. Cause that's when it's fresh on my mind. And they was just like, you was me, but like, nah, you ain't even. And I was just like, but I know I was going through something personally myself. So for them to sit there, we were just having a conversation about something. I was like, these kids, we always say they be paying attention, but they really be paying attention. And I mean, be in depth with what they paying attention to.
Because they remember things directly down to the grain.
So I was just like, wow, like, you know what? Okay. Happy y'all see the difference.
And that's really a compliment. That's a compliment to you as a parent, because you're getting more astute to your foundation and what you have to do and what you have to provide. I'm telling y'all, we don't always know. It's things that we have to learn along the way. We can think that, because to be perfectly honest, most of our parents raised us off of survival methods.
Yeah.
We don't, so we didn't get a lot of love shown to us, like hugs, kisses, emotions. I'm way emotional with my kids. They be like, please stop. But we didn't get all that. Yeah. And so a lot of times people did not know how to train and teach and love and cherish, and if they ain't happy, if their mindset is stressed, a lot of things are gonna come home, and then they may end up taking it out on you. They may end up doing this, and that's not always right. So we can tell. We're gonna talk about some of those things today, but for the most part, I do want to say this. Let me also throw out there when we say this, because when I say ruining your children's lives, what I mean is completely taking them out of the equation. You're forgetting that they have to survive, live, and walk in this life of their own, and you out here teaching them manipulation mechanisms that's gonna fuck them up. You out here teaching them things that's gonna ruin how they have to work with people, associate with people, live with people. All these things you're teaching, especially like things that you're saying around them, you're speaking hate into them. It's so many different things. So it's not just about, oh, I don't have enough money to be a good parent, because it's not about money. It's literally about the time and the time management that you're using while you're instilling things in your kids.
You'll be surprised how many kids want stability.
Yes.
Kids want to be told what to do, where to go, how to do
things. It's your love.
Like, because when they become older, they will tell you, man, you didn't show me how to do nothing.
I was doing it on my own.
Yeah, like, it's your fault. You ain't show me how to pay bills. You ain't show me how to balance a checkbook, but you don't have to balance a checkbook no more. But you ain't show me how to do this. You ain't show me how to. It's a lot, and they will blame. My kid's grandma. She always used to say that. She was like, "Be careful, because these kids will blame you for their life. When sometimes you can put them on the right path, and they still are blame you. But they will blame you if they really don't have that structure. Kids they want to be told what to do. They want you to guide them and lead them.
And it's important to give them that foundation for those purposes. So some of the things that you can do to be a lousy parent and to actually ruin their upbringing is to be a lousy role model. And that do as I say, not as I do parent. You're going to be the torture that they always throw in your face. Yeah. Every time, if you're that parent, I'm telling you, like, I told you to do this, but you don't do that. Well, I told you to do this. It don't matter what I do. I'm grown. No.
You have to be careful,
baby. And when you don't want to hear accountability for what you did to your kids, that's gonna make y'all have a distant relationship.
You got to own up to this.
It's gonna make y'all so separate in the family feuds because of stuff like that. So you gotta own up to it. Parents have to own up to their mistakes, because, like I said, we don't always know. The best thing to do at that point is to say it. I didn't know. I wasn't aware of that. That's why I'm different now. I improved upon, but I wasn't thinking that that's what I was doing to you. It's important to speak to let these people speak their minds and clear their head, their conscience.
I always just do it in a respectful way. I always say that's my thing with my kids. Say what you got to say, but say it in a respectable way.
That's right.
We good. Once you say what you got to say, now I might say something that you might not like, but we can let us have this conversation. Oh, I might just sit back and be like, all right, and think about it for a minute and come back to you a little bit later. Because what I probably want to say, I might not need to say in that moment.
Right. So
you got to be mindful of all of that. They're watching
everything. And they taking notes. It's like they got a whole journal about you. You don't even know. Like, it's mental. It's a mental. It's a mental journal. It's crazy. If you talk down about the other parent in front of them.
Ooh. I hate that.
Queen, it happens so rapidly. The fact it happens so much because it comes up in conversations a lot. Mm-hmm. So you cannot think that you're going to have a positive relationship with your child, or you cannot think that that's helping them if all you doing is talking negative about their daddy or their mom.
He ain't this. Your mama, man, look here. We ain't got time for that.
You got to keep that away from them. That's your thought.
Because at the end of the day, they gonna be always looking at you like they get old. They go back to them getting older. Mom, it was your fault that I wasn't able to see my dad, or dad, it was your fault that I wasn't able to see my mama. Man, look here. Co-parenting, it ain't easy for everybody. Some it's a smooth ride for some.
And some is not.
And some is not. But man, the hate that's I done seen and witnessed that people have for the person that they had kids with, it is like wow.
Because honestly, you trying to figure out like how did y'all get to this point? Like some situations, it got to that point for different reasons.
Yes.
Okay. But we cannot use these children as pawns. We have got to be able to separate how we feel versus how we parent. Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. I gotta put that in the quote.
And the child.
We got to. I'm telling you. What's going on, Kels? How you doing, my dear?
You got to think about that child, because that child gonna really be looking. They ain't gonna say much, but they gonna be looking at you like, especially if their dad is in their life. And they ain't gonna really like, shoot, man, all their mom do is sit up here and talk about you. All dad do is sit up there and talk about you. Mom.
Right.
Like, because now you teaching your child bad habits.
That's exactly what you're doing.
Bad habits.
Exactly what you're doing. That's exactly what you're doing. And those habits are going to start to make them have other habits. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Seriously. Mr. Diallo, peace and greetings. Everyone, peace and greetings. And then I'm going to put up this other comment that I just said because I felt this is a good one right here, for real. We have to be able to separate how we feel versus how we parent. So we do need to take our emotions out of things.
Yeah. But can they?
But that's
because of the stigma, the trauma that they done been through as a parent. So
but that's the thing. If you can't, that's what I'm talking. Like I can't. It's ways to heal from that, and you got to be willing. If I'm gonna be a parent and take the time to take on the responsibility of raising another human, I have to be in charge of how I heal. So how do I sit up here and think that I can bring all this negativity into my child's life and try to parent with that? I can't parent with that. I can't, no, Queen. Like if I'm trying to parent with all this trauma and I'm not doing anything about my trauma.
No. But it's happening.
And it's happening. And now we are creating children that are angry. And I saw a post today. on Instagram. I want to pin that. I really do because it's so important that we remember that. I saw a post today on Instagram, and it said this man was talking. It was he was talking so good, but he was like, he went to prison. And while he was locked up, old man was in there. It was like he murdered somebody. So everybody that was in there in his side were murderers and stuff, right? And he was like, he thinking to himself that, these big buff men, they gangster. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So old man was like, these people are locked up in here, and for murdering. And he was like, it ain't because they gangster. And he was like, well, what it is then? Because if you killing somebody, you gangster. And then he was like, it ain't because of that. He said, wow. And this is the thing. He said, these men in here are raised by women. And because one thing about women, we're emotional creatures. Yeah. Everything about our life is an fucking emotion. It don't matter what nobody say to us. It don't matter. We can
emotions get involved.
Listen, it's crazy. And then we got a period that comes every month that gives us an unbalanced amount of emotions. So We are okay, so that's why we don't supposed to run the country, but that's another thing. So
that's a whole nother that's a whole nother
but okay. But back to what I was saying. So anyway, the buddy he said these men have been raised, they're masculine men that are raised with feminine emotions because they were raised directly by women. And he was like, so when they go out and kill these people, at that moment they let their emotions get the best of you. Because how many times our emotions change throughout the day? Many, many times. So when you wake up the next day, you're not gonna feel the same way you felt about killing that man. You don't want to do that.
You gonna feel bad.
So at that moment that you were in that rage, you was having your feminine hormones and all these, well, not even just feminine hormones, just too many emotions going through you that are all your energy channeled into this particular moment. That moment. You're not thinking about tomorrow. You're not thinking about what you got going on. When you leave there in 5 minutes, what you want to go do in 5 minutes.
You think about the kids. None of that.
So we allow, this thing says, we are, I mean, the thing right here says, we have to separate how we feel versus how we parent for that particular reason. If you think that you're going to sit up here and have a disgusting conversation in front of your children about their father or their mother, and you think that it don't have no impact on how they look at you
crazy.
You crazy.
You crazy.
You crazy.
Real crazy.
You crazy.
You can't do that.
Another thing that can help you ruin your child's life is giving in to them. Yeah. You got to have structure and balance. If your balance and your structure is not there,
you believe anything your child said. The teacher can say that he hit somebody and he told you no, and you gonna believe just what he said.
Nothing matters. The child always right.
My baby ain't gonna do that to nobody. Child, please.
The child always right, and you looking crazy. Now he locked up.
You got to go see him every month.
Another thing that you can do to ruin your child's life is not getting to know their friends. Yeah. You got to let them choose the people who they want to love. So you got to learn the people who they love it too, because that's what they're spending time with. That's who they spending time with.
I just was telling my son that, I was like, I really don't know none of your friends. Like, not like I knew Zoe friends, and definitely I don't know y'all friends like my mama know my friends. I said, so it is your boys who stand out. Yeah, I said it is very different. So I really need to know who your friends are. I need to know pictures, all of them. Like, but it is different. But I'm like, I need to know. I need to know. So I'll be my eyes on you. Mm-hmm. You gotta learn them. Like, I need your mama name, daddy name, whoever name. What y'all got going on? What's your family like? All that, because if not, you kind of almost doing like a mediocre job at learning them, because who they be around says a lot about who they are, and you don't want to miss out on that. Because especially with boys, girls these days too, but boys always been those standoffish people. You have to learn your boy. Your boy ain't gonna let you learn him. You got to learn. Questions, you got to ask questions, everything. But when you have that open dialogue with your kids at an early age, yes, they'll come to you freely. Yes, and just talk to you. That's right. And tell you, what's going on and stuff. Because I know with Zoe, that's how Zoe just. Rashad coming, he just got into the groove of doing the same thing, but Zoe just come. Mom, let me talk to you. That's Erica, man. Erica come to tell me the business. I'm like, let me tell you about. So it's all about that. And the thing is, one thing I say, I always tell my kids, y'all are so blessed, because having that foundation is also having that village, that support. Mm-hmm. So with me being able, for my kids to be able to have 2 sets of grandparents a part of their life, while me and their dad co-parent, it's like all of us co-parent together. Grandparents co-parent with everybody. Mm-hmm. So that makes a difference as well. Who they have the support. Who they have that supports them. And if they got that support team, baby, your children
Because listen, like it's very important. Like I nobody understands that. Like my kids used to be complaining, like, "Mom, you always be the only one out here." And I got a million brothers and sisters. You got to show up. You got to show up for those children. You know what I'm saying? Because they remember that, and then as time passes on, that's how they're gonna decide if they're gonna show up for you.
That's it.
And I'm telling you, nobody likes when the rabbit got the gun. Nobody likes it because it's not like a revenge thing. It's just that they don't have that connection with you because you didn't build that connection with them. So you got to put in work in these kids' lives. I don't care what you think. If you're gonna take on the responsibility of being a parent, you have to work at it. Just like you get up every day to go to work to get money to take care of them, you got to take the time every single day to learn how to improve upon you, so that you can be better toward them. It's simple. You gotta ask them questions. Now, some of the toxic traits that help you let you know that you are ruining your child life. You are taking stake in ruining your child life, because that means that you can't fix things and make things better and help do it. It can be better. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. But signs that you might have toxic parents include they're self-centered. They don't think about your needs or your feelings. Every time your child come and tell you what they feel about what you did or what you said, and you start telling them how you feel and what you got. Yeah, you just gotta let them say what they have to say sometimes. Listen. Just listen. Try to get the situation solved. Because if it don't get solved, it's gonna come up again. And again and again. And again until it gets to the point where they just shut down. That too. And who want that? Yeah, you want it. They're emotional loose cannons. They overreact and they create drama. Ooh. And there's parents that are really like that. Ooh. Wow. If you're giving this to your children, they don't want to come talk to you about nothing because how you gonna react, and then now you in the dark. You're in the dark about everything. Everything. Therapy is really important for our culture, y'all, and a good Black therapist will definitely help you. I'm telling you, it's important. And if you can't afford a therapist because your insurance can't cover it, they got life coaches. That's what people like Candace and I are here for. And we cheap. We don't cost a whole lot of money. You know what I'm saying? We don't charge your insurance. You just want to hear. You want to know what's going on in your life. You want to come talk to a life coach. You want to improve what you've been doing and your thoughts and your challenges. You come talk to somebody. Everything ain't about solving on your own. You got to have that support. Even as parents got to have other parents got to support other parents as well and have that support system. Yes. You need that. You need that as parents just as well as the kids need it as well. But you got to show up. You got to show up to the little small things. That's what count. Sure, be surprised. But little small things, just that car ride, probably from picking them up from school, and you just letting them just talk and just listen. You might give them one or two few good little nuggets that they didn't caught. You'll be surprised. I used to just let Zoe get in the car and just talk, and we just be like, Lord. She talked all the way home. We always used to be like, Lord, but she was always telling us everything that was going on that happened that day in school. So it was like I had to get Rashard first, so he could tell me his day. Cause when Zoe get in the car, Zoe talking all the way home. She got a lot to talk about. A lot happened. So it's that little small moments like that. It means a lot to a kid. You'll really be surprised at little stuff that means so much to them. It is, and it takes a small amount of time just to have that understanding of them too. So those car rides home are important. Those are times that you're having communication with them, and it feel good to them. Mm-hmm. So give them that. They seek control. They might use guilt and money to get you to do what they want. Things like that. Now, the field that I work in, being a caregiver, I see a lot of that.
But y'all, I'm talking about these people, majority of them wealthy people.
Mm-hmm.
But when I tell you they manipulate their children with that money, it is crazy. It is crazy. Like,
You know, that's terrible.
Crazy.
And think about those grown kids though. These people, but think about children that's having to deal with.
But they
parents
have to deal with it
all
their
life.
Right. They had to deal with it all their life.
And it's a common thing. It's a common thing.
The trust fund babies.
But
the trust fund
people who won't even these young the kids that we're raising, the majority of them definitely ain't no trust fund babies.
Oh.
But they've definitely been used as pawns. Mm-hmm. And when you're utilizing your child as a pawn, oh my God, the leverage.
The leverage.
It's so many of y'all. It's so many of y'all parents. It's so many of y'all that's raising children right now that are literally just taking care of children. That's all y'all doing. Y'all not raising them. You're not taking care of. You're not doing the things that you're supposed to be doing. You're not instilling proper thoughts and processes into them. You're instilling gossipy ways into them. You talking negative about people. So now they have a hate mechanism.
You calling them names.
Everything that they're living is something that they're having to try to go out in the world and be like, but this is the people who are telling me that they love me, teaching me.
It starts at home. So if you ain't getting what you need at home, that's why you have them children out here doing the stuff that they're doing.
I don't get it.
It starts at home.
You cannot sit up here and say that your children didn't learn certain aspects from you just because you forgot what you showed them. You can't. You can't.
Like you see kids and stuff now being around, like when you be at people's houses or adult parties and stuff. I remember kids weren't even allowed to even be around adults.
Right.
You don't look. If adults in the house, you need to be either outside or you need to be somewhere in the back room with the rest of the kids. But now you see people that kids is all around. Like kids all in the conversation, sitting up there like this.
But know all the old people business.
Know everything, but us growing up.
And there was a reason for that. So every time y'all be trying to say, I'm going to do everything differently than how my mama raised me, you dropping some of the things, you dropping the ball on a lot of stuff. That's why your kids know everybody damn business.
Everybody.
All your business.
Telling your business.
Sitting at the schoolhouse telling the teacher. It's people right now that come on every day that say, I know everybody in her house business because the baby come in and tell it all every day. And this is what you teaching them though. This is what you teaching them. You teaching them bad habits. You teaching them so many bad habits so you're not giving them any of the good qualities about even who you are. You might be okay. You might be an okay person. But you sitting up here giving them these options of demeaning people and demeaning themselves. That's what you raising your kids on. I don't care how much you got going on in your life, bro. You cannot walk around that house and talk nasty about your baby daddy or your baby mama and not think that your kid gonna not despise you. You just cannot. Or even nobody in a relationship with them, you shouldn't be walking around talking about people.
Period.
Nobody. But it's even worse that if you sit around there talking about somebody you hang out with. Oh. Look what you're teaching them.
Backstabbing.
And that's why these kids so easy to kill these other kids now. It's so simple. It's so simple.
And that go back to what Cheryl said about the single mothers raising young men.
Off emotions.
The emotions.
They killing people off emotions, not unless they sit in jail.
All the emotions that young man or that young woman then seeing that all the emotions she put into hating or he hating that other parent, you didn't put that into your kids and hating other people, as she said, talking about your friends, family. Like, so they loyalty don't like, look, shoot, my mama want loyalty. She ain't talking about these people with these other people that she called her sister every day.
And she racks in her, and she right back in these people's face. So I can do that with my friends too.
Another negative thought, another negative scene.
Ain't gonna feel like it's wrong because you doing it. If they kids idolize you, they idolize their parents, bro. So if you're sitting up there showing them something that from a person who loved them, that they feel who love them, and they're learning this and hearing this from you, of course they don't feel like it's something wrong with it. They're not gonna feel like it's dead wrong.
No.
So if you know you got the power to change and they thought process, do it. But you sit around here acting so jealous and envious of people for now you got your kid like that.
That's crazy. Their own kids.
Exactly.
Jealous and envious of their own kids.
If your parents are harshly critical, if you're a harshly critical parent and nothing your kid ever do is ever good enough for you, and you don't respect anything about who they are or any of their achievements, you're a terrible parent. You're raising them wrong.
Wow.
You're doing that now. Because that's your child. You post. It's so many nasty parents. That movie Precious. That movie Precious was really like prevalent about what a lot of people go through. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of kids who go through hell.
And that's everybody. That's across the board.
It's a lot of people who go through hell, man. So you gotta be a better parent than who you was raised under. If that's the thing, you can't. I've always wanted a good relationship with my girls, and I always said that I don't care, man. I'm gonna have a good relationship with my kids,
no matter what. No matter what.
I don't care if they overshare. I don't care if they overthink. We can come talk to me about whatever you want to come talk to me about.
Cause at the end of the day, I'm the one that's gonna care for you, gonna be here for you. Ain't nobody gonna ever be mom.
I always tell my children that in high school too, like, if something going on, I need to be the first one that know about it. I don't need to be the one in the dark about it because who's gonna protect you?
Yeah. Lisa, you got to teach them about honesty. But
I need to know.
But if you saying all that stuff and you talking about people and all that, that's not honesty.
No, that ain't honesty. That ain't honesty. You can't, and then another thing is you can't change a toxic person. That's who they are. They can't change who they are, but it's up to you to acknowledge and know what's going on. Don't allow what's happening around you or what's being done around you to be how you turn out to be. Because you can change your surroundings on a regular basis. Yeah. Everybody ain't grow up in a pitch perfect background or a pitch perfect house. So you can change your surroundings regularly.
It's all on you.
This is your life. I tell my kids that all the time. Whatever you fail at or whatever you don't do, that's on you. This is your life. But that don't mean just because you fall down, you can't get up. Mm-hmm. But you definitely got to realize that this is your life. So all these people that want to tell you what you got to do with it, ain't got to live it.
You got them cards. You just got to shuffle them and deal it.
It's so important, man. It's super, super important to have a good foundation and a good support system. And there's so many people who are teaching their kids so much BS. Mm-hmm. Are you breaking generational curses with your children, or are you upholding them?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Are you?
That is a good question.
If anybody wants to come on live and join the chat, it's a link on the screen. I'll drop it on here for y'all if y'all want to come on and say anything, because I know y'all be shy on here. But it's always an opportunity for you to speak your mind, or you can type it in the comments or whatever. But are you though? Are you breaking generational curses, or are you upholding them?
I done broke some curses. And probably a lot. Well, every generation gets supposed to grow. Mm-hmm. Every generation. Now, some is still on the same repeated cycle. Mm-hmm. And That's crazy.
Yeah, but it's happening.
It's happening though.
It's definitely
but it's
happening.
Like when somebody gonna wake up and realize I don't want to be in this life forever. And then it could be several kids, and only one see that I don't want to be in this life forever. So it's like everybody look at things different, but you as the parent, you got to know, you got to want better. You don't want to, if you had a hard life, I'm not going to take my kids through the struggle like I did. I'm going to get out here, I'm going to work my behind off, do what I got to do as a parent to make sure that my children get to the next level that I didn't get as a parent, that my grandmother didn't get as a parent, or your parent didn't get as a parent. You got to, but it's all your mind, is your thought, it got to be there. And you got to take a look at your surroundings, and you can't be thinking about what people be saying. Girl, why you trying? I done heard a parent say this. Parent that was close to me. Girl, you ain't gonna do that. Girl, you ain't gonna move nowhere. Why you, child, please? You just saying that. And I was just like blown. I knew this parent always did this, but I was blown away to hear that parent say that to that child. And I was just like, wow.
You got it, man. You gotta speak that positivity into your kid, bro. Like, and your dictation to them matters the most.
Yeah. What you think as a parent is really what matters. And both parents matter. But if that child is more with that mother, everything that she say now, everything that child do, it's gonna matter whatever that mother say. I just speaking from what I see with a lot of parents, because a lot of mothers is out here raising, and the same thing vice versa for the father as well. But man, look, you got to know. You got to know.
And you gotta, you cannot be around here attacking your child for things because of what you think versus communicate with them to find out what's really going on. And that a lot of us don't give our kids time to talk to them. We don't open the door, have an open door policy where they can come in and talk to us about anything. We don't give our kids the damn benefit of the doubt that we even raising them well.
Yeah.
If the reason why you on their neck so hard and so ridiculous is because you know you falling short. You can't overdo it. Why would you have to overdo it if you're doing well? If you're doing a good job, why would you have to be jumping on them and embarrassing them and talking down to them and making them feel small?
And that comes from a lot of parents. They don't discipline them kids at a very early age. That's where a lot of that mess come from. Because you think it's real cute for him to be over there cursing and saying little stuff.
Yep, it's funny
to what I said about kids being around grown-ups when they don't need to be around grown-ups. But when he become 9, 10 years old and he back there mouthing off, it was fine for him to mouth off at 2 and 3 and 4 years old. You thought it was cute. So now he mouthing off at 10, 11, 12. Some of these fools by 15, they probably just socked you upside your darn head. So you got to be mindful. You got to instill that stuff in the kids early. So by the time you get to middle school, depends on the child. Man, you got to worry about that child. Because that child, anything you say, you can be over the phone. That child know, oh, mom mean business. Dad mean business.
That's right.
Period.
That's
Period. Right. That was how my mama was with us.
Boy, that phone
call, baby.
It meant so much.
Man.
But I also knew that I was breaking generational curses within my family because I knew my children were not afraid to speak their mind to me. It was, my mom said that we had an open door policy growing up, but there were many things that you can't come and say.
And what are you at mentally? Like, what are children at mentally? Well, because we here for these kids.
We have to be.
We is here for these kids.
We have to be.
We working a lot, but our parents worked a lot.
A lot.
A lot of us was home by ourselves
a lot.
And didn't have nobody. We talking about no grandparents around. It's just you and your siblings home taking care of each other because your mom or dad or both parents out here working.
That's right.
And now it's like parents right here running free. Boy, I see y'all at the games. Y'all be everywhere supporting these children, the ones that I do see. But we can support and still not be instilling morals
because even in your supporting stages, even in your supporting stages, what you tend to do is overdo that because you lacking over here too. So you still have to be that person that's giving your foundation purposes. Like you cannot think that everything is going to be like easy go because it's you out here doing this. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You still got to do everything else because it's important to know that those kids are still going to want to see and see that they mama handling them when they doing wrong. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody, you supposed to be no run over type of parent. Wait, like you can't think that your kid gonna be you can't think that they're gonna be out here respecting you if you run it over. I mean, if they run it over you, it ain't gonna be like that.
Check it at an early age. You got to don't have to nip it in the bud at an early age.
Diallo says, as far as generational curses, are we going to discuss corporal punishment, i.e., ass whippings? I get criticized for not whipping my children.
I think it depends on the parent.
I mean, it's other ways to do that. Everybody gonna do what they want to do as how they handle their children. I don't think that not spanking your kid means you should be criticized for it. Why the hell does it matter? Number one. Number two, I don't have to beat my kids like that. Like even when I did spank my kids, I didn't have to beat them like that.
I think probably about time my kids got to
you talk.
We talking, man. You straight on punishment. Give me that phone. Give me this. Give me that. I ain't got time. Give me everything that you feel like help you move on a day-to-day basis.
Now you gotta remember. You gotta also remember that because you have to come up with other discipline methods that they are effective. I don't believe that beating ass is just as effective as everything else sometimes, because I feel like sometimes those ass whoopings can cause a whole lot more damage in that child than help. And you don't want to be instilling fear tactics into your children to the point where like they get handled out here and get fucked up in the world because they scared to speak their mind, because if they was told that if they open their mouth and say anything, they're gonna get slapped down or whatever. So you gotta, how you address, how you do as a parent is definitely going to show in your children. It's going to show. And if a kid only remember ass whippings while they're growing up, if a kid only remember ass whippings, dog,
they might remember just one good one. Because that was the one that they remember that, I ain't acting up no more. But it's some kids out here, and they ain't get just swooping like they beating the brakes off these. Some of them beating the brakes off these kids.
He said for him it was mentally destructive. I know a lot of people is like that. You can't.
A lot of people say that.
Yeah. It's every
relationship, even couples have went back and forth if the child gonna be chastised by beating them and stuff like that. People have went back and forth in their relationship. During the cause people not even want to be together because they can't figure out, should I whoop my child? The other parent don't want to do that. They want to talk and say just go sit in the corner. So you got to figure all of that out too before you start having kids.
Before you have kids with people out, you gotta know who you having kids with, because you may not have any repulse about whooping your kid. You might not even think that it should come up as a discussion because why we beating our kid? You know what I'm saying? But that person might automatically know and feel, well, hell, if this child get out of line, I'm gonna do this, because this is what I used to do and it helped me. But did it? A lot of people so fucked up. And then you talk about, okay, no, I ain't gonna go into all that because that's another story.
It'd be something though. But this older generation, even my kids grow up, like she'll say that Zoe said something, and she was like, I said, in my generation, they want to do that. I said, but And I just tell her, I say, but one day, I say, remember, we raised her to speak her mind, to say how she feel. We have raised her like that as this village that we have put around her. So we didn't raise her to speak her mind and tell you how she feels. She telling you how she feels. Long as, go back to what I said the first time, long as you know how to come and say it in a respectful way, let's have a conversation.
And a lot of times too, like at when kids are grown, respect for what comes off as respect for them may not come off as respect for us. They feel like they've earned their space and their time to speak to you with any authority of how they feel.
Yeah.
This is how I feel. So you want me to? I'm being emotional right now, and I'm too loud, or this and this and that. They gotta still remember this. They gotta still remember that. At that time that they're speaking, you gotta remember they're still human, because remember when you was parenting them, and you get loud, and then your emotions, you get loud. You damn near spitting out the mouth. You doing all kind of it'd be crazy, and that's what we really have to. I literally had to, in every aspect, remember my kids are just as human as I am. So why would I not think that their feelings and their emotions are just as valid? It's just as valid.
They don't care about their kids' feelings.
They don't care about a damn thing.
You better care about them kids' feelings.
If you don't care about your children's feelings and their emotions, bro, like you really raising some zombies. And now they got to go out there in the world and display that and push that on everybody. All that hate, all that brokenness, all that trauma, all that destruction, all that stuff that could have created any mental imbalances. Yeah. And now they're going out into the world with that because you decided to not be a parent.
You decided them out there in the world angry.
Fucked up. They ain't just angry, they fucked up. It's our responsibility in so many ways to do better as parents. Well, if you don't know, there's no more excuses about what you don't know. You have the opportunity to learn everything. All that, I want to shield my kid from the world type of thing. You cannot do it. They still have to live there. They still have to be self-sufficient. You barely self-sufficient, and you talking about what you
good foundation.
You got to do better. We have to know that our children depend on us right now, and if we're not getting them straightened out, by the time they turn 18, 19, 20 years old, they are really gonna have it tough.
They go back to what we talked about before about how most of our community people put their kids out. Oh, you're 18, you get out and go get you somewhere to stay. Now you stay here until you're able to afford to get out. We're going to set you up a plan so you can be able to afford to get out on your own. But a lot of people send their kids, they're sending them out there.
Unprepared.
Got to prepare them.
So it definitely goes back to the quote of the day, which was initially, we have to prepare the child for the path and not the path for the child. Everything has to, you have to morally be accountable for what you instill in your children. Yeah. You have to know that at some point they can come back to you and say, you had every opportunity to show me different and you didn't.
And you didn't. Because they don't blame you. They definitely gonna blame you. So be mindful of that. And you can start changing things now if you need to.
You got to.
Never too late. Let's have this conversation, kids. You know what?
It's never too late.
Let's just have this conversation. Let's have this open dialogue. Let me know how you feel, what I need to do to change. Let me tell y'all what y'all need to do to change as well, because it don't go one way. It don't go one way.
And definitely let them have
opinion. Let them have their own opinion and stuff, and just have a conversation. And you might be shocked.
And most of the kids smart. They so smart. Yeah. They got the mindset of them is tremendously.
You might be shocked how they sit there and hold this conversation with you. It might blow your mind.
Give them the opportunity to do it, though. Give them the opportunity, my guys. Yeah. So that's our show. That's a wrap. That's a wrap for today. And I'm telling y'all, I just want y'all to remember now, we're not taking ownership for negativity that's happening with our kids when we have the right and time and opportunity to make it positive. So don't be the person that's responsible for their mindset if it's bad, their thought processes if it's not that good, the way they out here living if it's bad. Don't be the person that's responsible for all this stuff that's going on with them and not take responsibility. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Take the time right now to improve upon your child, improve upon y'all relationship, especially if you're raising a teenage child, you're raising a high school child, anybody that
even if your child in college though, because you still raising them to a certain degree.
They paying attention to everything. Now come on.
Because 25, that brain ain't fully developed to 25. So
right.
Y'all, we have to. That's a lot. That's a whole nother topic. But that's something that people need to learn and really put into question too. Those kids' brain ain't really mature until age 25. That's science. Right.
That's why you can't be putting them out at 18.
That.
You really putting out a child. You really putting out a child.
Even though like people like, well, they go off to college. Yeah, they go off to college, but most college freshmen have to stay in the dorms. Mm-hmm. So it's like, you know, you got to, man, look. You really. I told y'all better stay here. Let's set up a plan. Let's get a plan after graduation. Let's set you up for success. That's just what it is.
So, and don't be throwing these kids out because they have an attitude problems and stuff like that. These kids get half of that shit from you.
And now, I will say this now. Some of y'all parents with the times that you want them to be in, look, these college, some of them,
these grown kids now. But let them tell them don't come home. Just tell them don't come home. It get too late.
The club over at 2 o'clock. Give them at least 3 to get to the house. They young adults. Trying to enjoy life. You cannot give them a curfew. They're young adults.
And it ain't even about the curfew. Like I said, if you got that foundation laid out correctly, they're not coming to disrespect you anyway. It's y'all. You're not doing it from jump and not even trying to improve upon it in the middle. Now when they get to the end, you feel like they're supposed to just know. It don't work like that. If you gotta get it together, set that tone. Don't be sitting around here waiting until the end of the world to try to teach them how to do shit, and then you be mad when they don't do it.
Mm-hmm. They come
on. Listen now. Let's fix this. Let's do it. All right?
We're not raising kids to still be adults living at home. We're raising them to be mature adults to push them out there into society, to be leaders for the next generation. So, and it's going to be, I'm telling you, if you fail, these kids right here gonna come back and take your point dead in your face. You let me down. Yep. You ain't do your job. I be around other people's parents and they do this and this and this and this and this with their kids, and you don't do none of that with me. Yeah. I couldn't talk to you. I couldn't come and laugh with you. It was always so serious. You didn't let down your hair with me. I couldn't joke with you. I couldn't say nothing. It'd be very funny.
I couldn't do nothing.
You'll be surprised.
Have fun with your kids.
Hilarious. Take
the time out to get to know them. You'll be really, really surprised who you raise.
And you raised them.
So, all right.
You raised them.
We appreciate y'all that y'all raised them.
You raised them. You raised them. So be mindful.
Be mindful. All right, y'all. That's a wrap. We appreciate y'all for tuning in today. Thank y'all. Take the time out to get to know your babies, the ones that's still raising kids. Make sure y'all have a good relationship with them. Don't just lie to yourself and tell you it's good. Go make it work. Yeah. We appreciate y'all. See y'all next Wednesday. Happy holiday season to everybody that's doing the holiday shit. And we will catch y'all next week. Peace.